Okay, so this is Brian here. We're recording. As I said, I got everybody muted. I'm sure there's going to be some other people coming in as this progresses. What's going to happen is I want everybody, as if they got questions, I don't know, your questions are going to be all unscripted, so I'm unsure of what you guys are going to ask me. I'm going to do my best. I'm by no means an expert at any of this. I'll do my best to at least point you in the right direction of where you can go for your further answers. All right, so hopefully you guys have been following me. I assume you have. What I want to do is I'm going to open it up now for all your questions. So obviously people can see my screen, my mic, or my audio has been working. So let's start getting the questions typed up, type them up in the chat mode, and what will happen is if I don't understand any question, I'll come back to you as fast as I can, and make sure if I still can't understand your question, I'll bring you aboard and you know, so that you can use your voice headset and just do it by audio so I can precisely understand what you're asking. All right, so let's get those questions underway. If anybody's got those questions, start rolling. I'm going to do my best to, because I do think I've got already 7 people online. So I don't know how many people are going to be joining us, but my GoToMeeting can handle up to 25. I don't think we'll reach that many, but hopefully we can get everybody questions addressed. So if you got questions, let's start typing away and getting them in one by one. Let's get this party started. Okay, anybody got any questions? It's all about you guys. Who's got questions? Please don't be shy. I'm sure you're on here for a reason. So I've got everything queued up on my browser. And who's got what kind of questions? Open source, trading technologies, maybe some trading strategies. I have my friend Dan online. Hello, Dan. He's a good MATLAB guy. He might be able to answer some of your MATLAB questions. You know, I'm hoping to bring on a surprise guest as well if they come aboard as well. So who's got questions? Anybody? Wow. I don't want to turn this into a blob fest. Who's got questions? Come on, man. It's all about you guys. Anything. I don't want to sit here telling jokes and turn this into a comedy fest. Anybody? Oh, here we go. What's my opinion on NinjaTrader as an automated trading platform? Okay, Michael, good question. My opinion of Ninja is mixed. Depends upon what you're trying to do with it. If you're trying to do high-frequency trading, no, obviously not. I would not recommend it for that. It's a good trading platform for retail type of models. High-frequency or quant models is kind of limited. Overall, it's a decent platform. You got any specific questions about it you want me to answer? Okay, so you're asking about HFT. Yeah, it's going to be kind of limited. I don't know how many brokers you can have open at once. One of the big things with HFT is it enables you to have, you know, let's say TradeLink is a good example. I'm going to do my first query on this. Okay, hang on here. Might be pausing as I address some of the issues on the Skype here. Okay, so I use TradeLink, or will be using TradeLink as my open source trading platform. One of the powerful things about TradeLink is multiple brokers. What I'll do is I'll be putting the links in the chat so you guys can capture that. This platform is one of the big advantages of it. For HFT, let's say you can sense a better order book on one exchange or one broker. You can use this feature in the parallel broker connection to optimize that. Something like NinjaTrader. I don't think it would have that kind of capabilities. One of the big advantages with an open source trading platform like a TradeLink. Does that kind of answer your questions, Michael? Yeah, let me bring you back in. I'm going to put your open up your yeah. Hello, Michael.
Hey.
Mike. Yeah. What's your specific question you have on TradeLink? What would you like to particularly know?
Well, at this point, what I was trying to do, well, I started obviously by building my own platform, right?
Yeah.
I'm sort of developer by background, so I started with building some nice platform which connected to a data feed and then connected to interactive brokers, basically just to do algorithmic trading.
Okay.
And then, silly me, I figured out that I completely missed NinjaTrader, which is a great platform.
Yeah.
At least, you know, to write some simple strategies, and it does support .NET Framework and C#.
Sure.
And then now I'm looking on maybe using something else, because there are quite a bit of limitations. Not everything is working perfectly in NinjaTrader, what I figured out. And not everything can be customized.
Yeah, okay. Well, as I said, for me, what I'm pushing here is this, well, I shouldn't say pushing, but I use this TradeLink. A lot of advantages with it is it's obviously open source. It's free. It's done in C#. You get full source code for it. The documentation is quite good. There's comments in the code itself. The community is quite advanced and mature. It's a decent product to work with. It sounds like you got some pretty good chops in the world of development. So it's definitely a platform I would look at because I've got a number of people that have limitations with something like a TradeLink.
Nice. Yeah, I'm just wondering if you can maybe share a couple of features. Do you know, does it support, for example, walk forward optimizations, this type of stuff?
Not out of box. In terms of strategies and what's available, if you do a Google search on TradeLink Quick Start, I'll give you the link. It will give you a rundown of how the platform works, and there's some good videos on there as well. Hang on here. Getting started. Hang on here.
That looks really interesting. Somehow I missed it.
Yeah, a lot of people do, but it is the #1 platform out there. But it's these type of YouTube videos that make it really easy to get up and running fairly quickly.
Right.
And I said it's done in C#, so it's a very good platform. I mean, it's going to have its bugs and whatnot, but considering it's free, it's pretty good. But
well,
go ahead.
Yeah, as long as it's open source, you know, bugs are not an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. You're going to get that in every single open source platform. But it's quite good. The link I just gave out, the quick start with the videos, this will give you a rundown of its capabilities and the different components in TradeLink.
Right.
So that should get you started if you are looking for another type of platform. Okay, so who else has got some questions here? Anybody else got any questions? So maybe I want to make sure I'm not missing anything here. Also, just so people know, the TradeLink allows up to something like 250,000 messages per second, or trades or whatnot. So it's not quite HFT, but it's quite powerful and fast with that type of throughput. Okay, wow. Jan asks, I don't know if it's Jan or Ian. Ian. I read about the trading software review list you posted on your blog. Is multi-charts good for auto trading? And what are the open source alternatives? Okay, just so you know, obviously I've just answered hopefully your question regarding TradeLink. So this platform is really good. This is the one I'm going to be going with. And obviously for numerous reasons I've already mentioned. In terms of multi-charts, I'm going to move over to my blog here. If you do a search on my multi-charts, for about a week, I just went on about dumping on multi-charts, especially multicharts.net. It's a good platform. The difficulty I have with it is just virtually there's no documentation with it. It's very scant. Maybe they've updated in the last 2 months or even last month. with the multicharts.net, I just find it's just not capable. I mean, functionality-wise, it looks really good, but just in terms of comments and stuff, it's just not there compared to other platforms that I've seen. And if you can't understand a platform fairly quickly, like a TradeLink, then what's the advantages of multi-charts versus a TradeLink? But as I said, the TradeLink is a good open source platform, and it's .NET as well, which is quite good. Hopefully I'll answer your question. Anybody else got any questions at all, or Michael, or Ian? Yeah, I'm sure it's Ian. Yeah, take a look at it, Ian. It's a good platform. I'm really happy with it. I've looked at all the platforms, ActiveQuant, AlgoTrader, which are Java-based open source platforms, Market, which is kind of semi-open source. It has its issues. It's quite old now. It hasn't been updated in years. And again, with the Java platforms, is that there's again documentation is a huge problem. But the one thing I just keep saying, which is TradeLink, especially with this type of the quick start here and the videos, you can get up and running really fast. So hopefully I'll help you out. Who's got other questions? We got 9 people online. I want to get everybody's questions and answered and stuff. Who else got questions? Specific questions? I know Dan's out there. Dan's a guy who really knows MATLAB really well. I can go on and on about MATLAB as well. If anybody's got any questions about MATLAB or R or just analytics in general, strategy development, I'll try to answer whatever I can at that point in time. Or I've got people that come out and ask questions about quant career. Okay, Ian's got another question. Any recommendation on books, tutorials on auto trading? I only know C#, Java, but I have no experience on MATLAB. Okay. Okay, let me take you to a couple of places. Trying to think of the best one. Okay, let's say if you want to do strategy building. This is now my YouTube channel I'm looking at. I'm going to look for my video on Robert Pardo. I did a book review on this guy. Hang on here. I'm just going to pause this. Okay, so this YouTube video goes on and on about Robert Pardo for strategy development and what sort of support systems need to be part of a strategy where it's trading live. I'm not sure on your technical level. If you know C#, that's cool. There's the Head First series. Let me just pull that up. I like C# as a scripting language. So let's say you're going to use TradeLink. You can use TradeLink for C# for the scripting and developing strategies in C#. So let's say you're new in C#. One good book for C#, especially if you're new to it. There's a Head First here. Okay, there's some other books I would recommend for, I did a video a while back. Let me just pull up that. Hang on here. I've got, this is a long questions or long answers, so keep asking those questions. I'll come to you. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is a video. This came from, if you're really advanced, a really advanced developer, this YouTube video is how to be a world-class developer for trading platforms. And that goes on about books from Hacker's Delight, The Art of Programming, so on and so forth. Now, in terms of the analytics, I don't know your level. There's Paul Wilmot, the Wilmot series. Trying to think of the right book.
Robert, can you please share the link for the previous YouTube video?
Oh, you didn't capture that? Oh, sure. Hang on.
No.
No worries, no worries. Thanks for letting me know. So you're talking about the world-class developer one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, just give me a second here. If you go to Quant Labs, the channel, just do a search on world-class.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just pull it up again. This one right here.
Oh, thanks.
There you go. Okay, so let's start talking about the analytics, the books. Paul Wilmot's one of the big guys behind it. I consider him one of the godfathers when it comes to Paul in terms of being a quant. Actually, you know what? Let me pull up the Amazon. Paul. Now these books are very, very sophisticated. This one's got is a complete 5-part series. Actually, that's one of his series. There's also a professor as well, John Hall. Hang on here, I'm going to pull him up. And these guys are the legends behind being a quant, in my mind. Which book is it? There's one on derivatives. But these are some of the authors. You can do searches for these guys. There's a bunch of other authors I could go on and on about. But hopefully that'll help you out in the recommended books, depending upon your level. Yeah, and also I should mention Ernie Chan as well. He's done a few presentations to the group. If you want to run a quant business, this book is quite good. He's the author of this one. Okay, so hopefully that'll help you out. Let me just continue where I'm at with the other questions. Okay, so Michael asks about, Brian, how do you address overfitting problem with developing a strategy? All right, now, overfitting, there's two things. One of my friends, again, Dan has provided a lot of these huge number of books or PDFs. You have to be a licensed user for MATLAB, but if you want to understand about strategy development, let me just pull up my YouTube channel again. I'm bouncing around all here, but I knew this was going to be happening. Okay, so I'm using MATLAB as a way to quickly learn about just strategy development in general. There's trying to think of which there's a video, about a half-hour video. Yeah, let me just mute that. I apologize. I think if you do a search on overview, fast flow. I've got a bunch of books. I've done an overview of all the complete set of available MATLAB books that are available. The reason I bring this up for you, Michael, is regarding when it comes to strategy development. As I said, I'm using MATLAB. There's two toolboxes I would be concerned about in terms of what you're referring to. There's the MATLAB curve fitting toolbox, which addresses this. So there's a GUI tool in there that will address how to get a really good fit on your strategy, or particularly your algorithm or model. And then there's another way to do it as well. Is another toolbox you could use is the optimization toolbox for that. So let's say you have an algorithm and you have a bunch of constraints and you want to experiment. You can quickly use these toolboxes to help you figure your strategies or your algorithms and optimize them. Hopefully I'll help you out, Michael. Okay, got a question on Ernie's book from MATLAB. Yep, Dan's already addressed that as one of the best books. Head First doesn't set anything on any particular language. Decorna, this is something I'm not sure what you mean by this. I can't even pronounce it. Duracona for HFT. Is that a question you have to me, Dan? There, Dan. I don't know if you want to speak. Let me know if you want to, if that's a question or if that's an answer. Okay, so Brian, by curving I meant avoiding over-optimization of a strategy. Yeah, that's what that's where the optimization toolbox will come into play, because that will help you, optimally, obviously optimize your strategy. It's pretty well what it's for. Okay, Dan's muted. Sorry, Dan, I'm not sure about that. We were by you. Oh, okay. Okay. No problem, Michael. Ian's got another question. Are there any beginner introduction on MATLAB? Seems MATLAB is a must-have tool, and I think to learn more about it. Okay. Both videos, tutorials, books. Oh boy. See, the problem is it depends what you want to do with MATLAB. I'm going to bring you in, Ian. Can you speak, Ian? Oh, Dan wants to be unmuted. Let's just jump to him for a second. Hang on, Dan. Okay, Dan. Dan, you up there? Hello, Dan. No. Dan?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay. Hey guys, so I want to go back to Michael's question regarding data snooping.
Yeah.
Overfitting. So I think the best way to avoid that is actually to have a large amount of backtest data.
That's right.
This is probably there are some magic numbers there that you can search on. You can Google it, and given let's say that you have 1 year of data, given that number of entry points for specific security, I'll say that probably to avoid the data snooping, you need at least 3 times more data to avoid overfitting.
Yeah, I'll also add
in a backtest procedure.
Yeah, I should also mention my quant friend. What he does, he will watch a particular, let's say, a trading pair for Forex. He'll watch using every type of frequency out there. So he'll watch on a tick level, a 1 minute, a 5 minute, 15 minute, an hour. That means he's going to get more data to work from. More data, and he has a lot more capabilities to do a lot better back testing with that. So the more data you have, the better it is.
Now, I think if you guys are interested in a good HFT books, this is what I mentioned to Brian. There is one professor called Dacarona.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite a good introduction. It's an easy to read. It's fun to read HFT book.
Okay.
It can be a bit too technical, but it's a good book.
Okay. If you could provide the Amazon link to that.
Yeah, I'm looking for it now.
Okay.
Just wait for me. Yeah, I'll share with everybody.
Okay. Awesome. I'm gonna put you back on the mute. Actually, I'm gonna leave you. You're okay. There's no background noise coming from you. All right. So I think Ian had a question about where to begin for MATLAB, a must-have book. The problem is MATLAB is such a huge, it's massive. If I showed you there's probably 10 to 15 different toolboxes as part of MATLAB, which is part of strategy development and understanding all your algorithms. It's huge. So there's no general book out there for MATLAB, but a good reference that's free is to do a Google search on MATLAB webinars. Here, I find the recorded webinars are very powerful, and then you can break it down by industry. And then from there, so in my case, let's say computational finance. This is a good starting point to understand what MATLAB can do and how to do it. These webinars are unbelievable. So that's a good starting point, but do understand you're going to go down so many places with MATLAB, but it'll show you how it's used within what MATLAB can do, and it just goes on and on and on. But you can see just from here, you got curve fitting, portfolio analysis, modeling. It's just on and on it goes. Dan just posted that reference for Amazon. Okay, so let's see if we got any more questions. Okay, so for Ian, that's one place to start in learning MATLAB, and I would think it's going to overwhelm you, but the one thing I like about the videos is that it enables you just to watch it at your own leisure, and just the power of what it can do. Anybody else got any questions at all? I think we're up to we're 10 people. We've got quite a few. I want to address people's questions and concerns over all this. This is what it's about. Any newbie questions or any? Well, we got Dan online, so he's really good to have in terms of any analytical questions or strategy development, especially coming to the world from MATLAB. Dan's really good for that. Anybody got questions at all? That's what it's about. We're recording, so this is going to go up onto YouTube just for other people that can't make it. Yeah, it did?
So, for example, guys, if you're looking in MATLAB to practice any technical indicator-based strategies, the econometrics toolbox in MATLAB has probably most of them already defined.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to play with them. It's the way it is has been developed. It's easy to understand, and it's really easy to use. So if you ask me, I'll probably start with the econometrics toolbox.
Okay, that's a good tip.
And finance toolbox and econometrics.
Yeah. So here I'll just put this. The economic metrics toolbox is a good one, as Dan says. It has all the classic moving average, RSI, all those type of technical indicators, if you understand. Those.
Now, if you're really a portfolio manager that is looking for a CAPM style of strategies, they already have all this functionality implemented in Efficient Frontier, and all of these things are already part of MATLAB. Toolboxes. So you just have to pass the data, and everything is done for you.
Yeah, that's right. So there's also a finance toolbox, as Dan mentioned as well. Thanks for that, Dan. Who's got other questions? So we talked about a little bit about TradeLink. We've got conversation about MATLAB. I'm not sure where everyone's level is at. Be very interested to hear other questions or comments, queries, blah, 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 blah. Because it's only 7:30. Don't be shy. We don't bite. Who's got questions? Because I don't want to make this a short video. I mean, I'll be doing more of these, but I want to address as many people or many as possible. Dan, is there any comments you'd have about MATLAB in terms of as an analytical tool?
Again, it has a lot of it's easy to develop strategies once you get your hands on with the basic or building strategies. for any of you guys that have developed previously in C, C++, C#, it's really easy to get it. It's not a big deal. It's easy to catch with that.
Yeah.
The only problem with MATLAB, it's a bit slow. And as you probably know, there is already an API to interactive brokers that you can actually connect MATLAB to interactive brokers.
Yeah.
So you can build your strategies in MATLAB and have a direct an API to interactive brokers.
Yeah. What indicator would you use to measure level of volatility in the market from Michael? I think that kind of got addressed in the economic. I just saw that. Econometrics. The econometrics toolbox has that. Let's break that open. Let's see what it has. I know it has some volatility stuff in it. Just saw here. Yeah, volatility modeling. So I'll just put this link here. That should help you. I haven't played with this enough. Have you played with the volatility modeling, Dan?
Yes, I did play with that. Right.
Actually,
we used to. There are some strategies that use the VIX and VXX.
Okay.
So the specific function that actually Brian is showing you now, it's quite a good one.
Okay, let me bring Michael in. I'm going to unmute Michael, see if he's got anything. Michael, is there anything you have specifically? Hey,
yeah.
Michael.
I'm not using MATLAB. I guess I should start using it, right?
Sounds of it. I don't work for MATLAB, but to be honest, yes.
No, that makes sense from what you're saying. Absolutely.
I'll tell you, Michael, what the good thing about MATLAB, it has a package to a lot of algorithms and a lot of strategies into it, right? So
right.
It's a nice toy to play, I have to say.
Yeah, currently what I'm doing, I'm using a NinjaTrader as a platform, right? And I'm using either built-in NinjaTrader indicators or I'm writing my own based on algorithms I'm able to get. So I guess I should look more on the MATLAB, right?
For example, what you can do, I'll say you can look at the MATLAB help, right, and see how they implement it. And you just, if you can get a chance to get the MATLAB code, you just simply can port that to C#. My understanding is that it's programmed in C#, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so you just can, because the code is, you can see the code, right? So they don't hide the code. So you can actually look at the code and port that specific, let's say that you look for a technical indicator, the Bollinger, whatever, just an example, right? That the Bollinger bands are implemented in MATLAB. You can open the function and see how it has been implemented. And you can actually optimize it in your C# code.
Oh, so basically I can look on the implementation of the indicator in the MATLAB itself, right, in the toolbox?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, okay, that's good, that's good.
I've also put a link on there of the Net Builder toolbox, the .NET Builder, that enables you to bridge MATLAB and the TradeLink or whatever C# trading platform you were working with. Those two can talk to each other through the Builder any toolbox. So I just put that link up there. This is MATLAB right here. Not sure if there's anything I could show you, but Dan mentioned the help. So let's say was it ECMI? I can't remember the. So let's say I don't know what this function does, but the documentation is pretty powerful, and it's just an unbelievable tool to build strategies with. Does that answer your question, Dan or Michael?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, does. Just one more question about MATLAB.
Yeah.
The way I'm getting data currently, I'm subscribed to IQFeed as a data feed.
Yeah.
Is it a problem to import data from IQFeed to MATLAB, or I have to do it manually?
There is a tool out there that enables you to bridge interactive brokers and MATLAB. Just give me a second.
Oh, interactive brokers, right? Okay.
Yeah. Hang on here. Are you just wanting it for data, or are you wanting it for execution as well?
Oh, no. Just for data, I would think about connecting it to IQ feed, actually, not interactive brokers, because the data is not the best, you know.
Yeah, no, I use... Go ahead.
I'm not aware of anything that connects MATLAB to IQ feed.
Okay. There's
Can you repeat it, please? I didn't hear it.
Go ahead, Dave.
I'm sorry, Michael. I said that I'm not aware of any connection between MATLAB and IQ feed.
Oh,
okay. So I guess it's still possible.
Hold on there. Hold on. No, there's a way. I'm going to pull it up. Through the new version of IQ feed, 2012B, there are a way to get these functions here. I'll just put this link in. This link, this is brand new in the last year. These are functions that you can use that you'll connect into IQ feed. Okay.
So this is Brian. This is the new release.
That's right.
Nice.
Okay. Oh,
so you need the data feed toolbox for that. Okay. But that capability is there, and it also will connect into Bloomberg, Thomson Reuters, all of them, all the majors, all these guys, eSignal, Yahoo if you want, KX, whatever you want.
Excellent.
Okay. Execution's another story. That's why I'm going to be using TradeLink. But next week's meetup is going to be about that. Let me just pull that up, meetup for people. Just give me a second here. Okay. Yeah, I have a meetup next Wednesday. It's this one here. This is the one I'm presenting on Simulink, using .NET and bridging that between MATLAB and TradeLink. So that's going to happen next Wednesday. That's going to be streamed as well. So I'll be addressing that. Anybody else got any questions? I'm just who's got questions? Down to 8 people. It's a lot of people, but no questions. Michael, you got another question at all?
Work on that.
Okay. We've got Chris, Zhao, Zedze, Oso online. We heard from Ian, or Ka. We haven't heard from you guys, so I'm assuming you want questions answered. So if you guys want, please let me know. Okay, Ian's got a question. How do I view the recorded webinar? That's for MATLAB, I'm assuming. What you do is just register. Where do you go? Overview. I know there's a way to do it. I think view webinar. There you go. Yeah, I think that's the one. But it does have Flash and all that. So what you do is you got to put your email in and ask you a bunch of questions. And oh, the live? Oh, sorry. Okay. So Ian's asked, sorry, QuantLab live Q&A session. So you got it working. I'm assuming that should be answered already. Anybody got any other questions? As I said, we got a couple of people that haven't asked questions yet. Michael, if you got any other questions, just chime in.
Yeah, I got it pretty much.
Okay. Dan, you got a question?
I would think of lots of questions tomorrow, right? That will be
I know. It's always like that. I mean, if you're in Toronto, you can always come out to the meetups, right?
Yeah.
Pretty well an open book at that. Okay, we got Stephen just joined us. Welcome, Stephen. I'm not sure if you got any questions as you come in. We're taking questions. If you want to type them out in the chat mode, please type away. We just lost 2 people. Guess they didn't have any questions. Oh, sorry about that, Stephen, about the technical. You got any questions at all? Not yet. Okay. We're just doing a general blogging about TradeLink and Matlab. If you got anything you'd like to address. Might be a short session tonight, only for an hour. Who's got questions? I could tell you some stuff. I don't know what people want to know. Okay. Not sure. So I could put on the webcam and do a jig for you, or a dance, or what would you like to do?
Dance.
I don't want to keep repeating the dumb jokes I always come up with. Why are quants lucky? Because they look at models all day. Mike, okay. Michael's got some questions here. Okay, let's address Steven's question here. Seems like you can do formulas in MATLAB and send it out to C Java code. That's correct. Your biggest trade mistake? Ooh. I don't think I've really done any. Well, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I haven't really done any big. I don't really trade a lot yet. I'm just kind of learning. It's no different than you guys. I'm just blogging as I go. What would be useful for MetaTrader? Are you talking about MetaTrader MQL MetaTrader? Let me just see what we got here. I think it's the same one. Yes, MT4 and MT5. Stephen, I'm not sure if you're able to. I'm gonna mute you, Michael. Hang on, Stephen. I'm gonna unmute you, Stephen. If you're out there, you got your specific question. I'm not sure what you mean by.
Well, MetaTrader is basically C, but not exactly C.
Yeah.
So if you could take MATLAB and make your formulas or whatever, and then spit them all out, I wonder how much rework is needed to get them into MetaTrader.
Well, I'm sure. Okay, are you talking MetaTrader 4 or 5?
4.
4. Have you done any searches on the connectivity between MetaTrader and MATLAB? Like I've played with MetaTrader. I know there's some interesting things done with MetaTrader with MATLAB. Yeah, okay. There's CSVs files.
They're doing like a .NET idea with the CSV files being the middleware. I'm not sure if that's the right terminology, but
here, I'm going to put out a little test for you. Yeah, here. I'm just doing the MetaTrader Simulink. Do you know Simulink?
I do not.
Okay. If you're willing to jump to MetaTrader 5, this link will blow your mind. This is where I got the idea of using Simulink, actually. Let's say you come up with Simulink, which is, I go on about Simulink itself, but using Simulink and MetaTrader, this link I just posted will enable you to do some incredibly powerful things between MATLAB and MetaTrader. So let's say you want to design a visual model. You can use Simulink, and then this guy uses also Stateflow for real-time analytics, which is part of MATLAB. And at the same time, he's enabled you to build an indicator with this, all within MetaTrader. If anything I've seen out there technically, this is it. But there's still obviously limitations with MetaTrader that we've already discussed in terms of no different than any real-time trading system. But I would take note if you're willing to use Simulink. This is a good way to go. To answer your question, Stephen?
It opens up enough that I can go look and do some research.
Oh, this.
But I don't actually have MATLAB, so that's another issue.
Yes, that would be an issue. Yeah.
What is the cost on MATLAB?
Well, MATLAB's kind of like.
You don't want to know.
You want to take that, Dan?
You have to ask. You cannot afford it.
Basically, yeah. But
no, don't go there. It's very expensive. It's very expensive.
What about maybe educational version?
Yeah.
Dan, you want to?
There is a student version of MATLAB. There is a student version of MATLAB, but is limited, and it doesn't provide all the toolboxes, and it has a limitation on the matrices that you can work with. So it's really either you get it or you have it and you pay. To MATLAB, just MATLAB is 2,000. Simulink is 2,000, and each toolbox is around, in average, I'll say 1,200.
Yeah, it's
so if you look at, yeah, it's pretty, it's pricey.
Pricey, yeah, but I think it's powerful from what I can tell. But it may be a Ferrari I can't drive.
It's actually, yeah, it's a good comparison. It has his own issues, but overall, on the analytical side, I think it has many benefits, I have to say. But yeah, it's
is MetaTrader your trading platform, Stephen? Sounds like it is.
Right now it is. I don't. If I had to start over, I don't know I'd start here, but I've got so much invested.
Right.
In that I'm kind of. I looked at a lot of things and I came to MetaTrader and go, oh, this is junk, and I left. And the problem with MetaTrader is it's so pervasive that there's so much work and people in it that I don't know. There's a lot of resources available.
Yeah, there is. I mean, but it has its bottlenecks like any other platform, right?
Well, the back test is probably the point that I pick at the most.
Right.
Because they take the tick prices are the minute bars. There aren't even actually tick prices. There's only minute prices. They use those to make the 5-minute, to make the 15-minute, and if they run out of one, they go to the next biggest one, and then when you test, the spread that you're experiencing is the current spread, which is not necessarily the historical spread that you're testing against.
Right.
So there's a lot of those kind of issues.
Those are probably big issues, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you
but it's quite
go ahead.
But Stephen, that's cool. Oh, no, I was just wondering. I think this is quite a problem if they do that. No, I mean they convert a 1-minute tick to 5. I mean, how do they do that? I'm just curious. Never used MetaTrader.
Well, they if there's 5-minute bars, they'll merge that into one 5-minute, and then if you're working to get to 15 minutes, then once they run out of 1-minute bars, then they start using 5-minute bars to make 15s, and
I hear you. Okay.
It's
okay, that makes sense. Okay.
But at some point, they just kind of guess.
I don't know if
that was my problem, because to compress that and to make it one, you have to make a guess somehow, right? No? Maybe I'd be wrong. Maybe I don't understand the exact point, but it sounds to me dangerous.
It's sloppy, and when you're dealing with money, it's
that's even sloppier.
Yeah, you want to have sloppy results. You run the same test twice, you'll get 2 different results because the spread in real time has changed and moving around, and so your results, I don't know, if you can't have repeatable results, it's kind of a, yeah. There are ways around that, though. You can pull in real good data and then lock it up, but once you connect to your server, it'll screw it up again. Well, the new data and the old data will merge, and then you got garbage data.
I don't know if I should put myself on cam when I'm hearing this.
What's that?
I don't know if I should put myself on cam on showing you my responses on my face when I hear this.
Oh, we just think of Macaulay Culkin. Home Alone.
I'm just cringing at hearing this. Oh, who's your broker?
Well, my broker last was MigFX, but they kicked me off because I'm an American.
Oh, okay.
So we just finally got the money back a month ago or so. It's been a while we got kicked off. It's just been sitting there. But
right.
We actually made out by doing that because I think we parked our money there in Swiss, and so I think the exchange rate worked in our favor over the period of time it sat.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky.
The slow boat Forex.
Oh, it sounds like it. So, who are you using right now? Are you not using anyone, or?
Well, I'm just about ready to set up a little trading team, and I'm looking at Collective FX. Do you know those guys?
No.
Let's see if I can try to drop a link to you.
Yeah, I probably can do a Google on it. Collective, like the word collective?
The I'll be coming here into the chat if I can figure out how to get there.
Yeah, I think I have some kind of search here. Is
Yeah,
it part of Orlando?
No, it's kind of a co-op kind of an idea.
Okay.
You pay $150 a month and you can trade as much as you want.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's the top of your screen. Collective FX.
Oh, the Collective FX Global.
Yeah, but they're kind of a co-op, I guess.
Okay.
And it was closed for a long time. Now it's open. But the nice thing with my system, I'm hedging, so I want to be able to. American rules don't allow me to hedge, so I need to get around those. Or you can set up 2 accounts and stuff, but that's kind of a. And then you rebalance them every once in a while. It's like
yeah. Where are these guys out of? Like in the States, or?
I believe they are, but they don't. They seem to, from my understanding, they have better parameters because they're not a broker. They're more like a club.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's exactly right, but something along those lines.
Okay. I hope it works out for you.
And it's straight through processing, I believe, so that helps a little bit.
Right. Is there any other questions you have at this point, or? We can come back to it if you do. Or you can just type it up in the chat.
Okay.
If anybody's got any other questions, we're just trying to gather them. Anybody at all? Michael, Ian, more active participants. I think Ian's dropped off. Who's got questions?
Hope it wasn't something I said.
No, I don't think so.
Steve came in here and get the heck out.
No. We've had people come and go for the last little bit. Michael, if you got any questions at all, we've only been online for an hour, so just want to make sure we get everybody addressed. But we've had some awfully quiet people out there.
There's a lot of lurkers usually.
Oh, I know about that.
Yeah.
I know them. Ka, Zale, Chris, questions?
I guess one thing I could ask is, are some of the people in here actual quants that work in real-life quant situations?
I don't recognize any names here. I think a lot of them might be
wannabe quants?
Traders. If anyone wants to answer that question for Stephen. I'm like in my membership, we've got real-world guys. I talk to my London quant friend. He blows my mind on something every day. Michael says soon. I don't know if Michael's, are you an independent or just doing this as a hobby? Or Michael, if you want to answer that. I've had other people that are VPs in banks. I've had people that run exchanges. So I've had a number of wide variety.
Well, I guess my question goes to how do people. I've had a whole lot of trouble. I'm not a great programmer. I'm self-taught a little bit.
Right.
Can program. But I work with programmers, and over the last 10 years, I've gone through maybe 50 programmers.
Right.
And one of them, like last year, says, well, you need a quant level programmer. I go like, okay. You know, I don't think he really took the time to understand what I was doing, so that's another factor.
But who said that? Another programmer said that?
Yeah, programmer. I did the NDA, showed him what I had, and he says, "Oh, you need I can't do this. You need a quant." And I've been working with a not so good programmer. I mean, he's pretty good, but he just, when I paid him, he dropped off the map. So it's like, I shouldn't have paid him.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Oh my God, it's happened to me quite a few times.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, and my wife is going, "No more paying up front." She's like, "Oh gosh." So.
Well, in a way, she's right, I think. Or I think your approach is the way to do it. I'm just trying to think of how to approach that. We just went over what MATLAB can do.
Mm-hmm.
The capabilities of it are quite good. Just trying to think of the best way. Actually, let me show you. Like, I'm going to repeat myself. I just said this earlier. This link here, the trade link. Trade link's really good for both programmers and non-programmers. But with TradeLink, what he's done lately is he just brought out a product called Glean. Let me just pull that up. And that enables people to visually develop their strategies visually. There's a couple of videos here as well. But the problem of it is it's to unlock it, it's a $3,000 product. But the good thing is that you can play with it and see how it works before you kind of plunk down that kind of money. And at the same time, you can, maybe, as I say, DIY, do it yourself, right?
Well, there's some MetaTrader graphic EA builders.
Right.
The problem is some of the stuff I'm doing is often more in the array manipulations, and they don't really do much in that.
Right.
I mean, I can do it and then drop it in, and then it'll work with the other stuff, but they don't really, at least so far, there's maybe 8 or 10 of them out there.
Yeah.
One of them actually allows you to bring in the source code that you already have and then digest it and makes like a little flow chart.
Okay.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah. Because I know, go ahead.
Well, in development, like right now, I've got I just printed out the code, and I'm at like 100 pages of paper. And then when I go to a new programmer, they want to start over. It's like Groundhog Day. I don't know. I don't know.
You know something? I have to say from my experience, because I'm sort of a quant and I did some programming in my time, right? I haven't seen a programmer that actually else code and said, okay, it looks good, I'm going to keep going. Everybody thinks that when, as you said, right, when they start from the scratch and you have some paper for them, papers to start, they will not start the code from where it was left. They always think they have a better way to do it.
Yeah.
So regarding your question regarding a quant, I really, first of all, let me ask you, how you define a quant? What's a quant? Is a
more of a, I don't know, I mean to say this in a bad way, but more of a nitpicker in the details and a little more cerebral than like a MetaTrader
the description I've heard so far. Yeah. So what I really think, if you have a strategy, in my opinion, my advice to you is, because really a quant is a person that knows math, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's really someone that has a lot of experience with math and some coding, right?
Okay.
It's really hard, it will be very hard for you to find someone that has good analytical skills and good programming skills.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's one thing to design the architecture of a code, to be a software designer and be just sort of a researcher of scientist position, the guy that is physicists and mathematicians, right? It's hard to find that person. But
and
again,
if you find them,
the strategy,
if you find them, they're too expensive.
There are, obviously, there is a price for everything, right? You know what I mean, right? So if you have the strategy and you know what you have to do, I'll suggest probably someone with good math background and software skills. You know what I mean, right? You need
exactly.
the quant to me is a person that has strong math background, because at the end of the day, whatever any strategy is math in the background.
Yeah.
So this is why your friend, the MBA friend of your friend, gave up on you, because he doesn't have the math background. He doesn't understand what's behind that, right? So that's the problem.
And another thing that happens, even though they're working on this code for a long time, they say, "Oh, this won't work," and it's like, how can you say that? You know, we're getting closer. We're almost there.
Yeah,
I don't know. So when he gave me the
obviously they will tell you, obviously, let's start from the beginning, so you pay me more, right? So it sounds right. Yeah, it's not.
Well, I have huge chunks of code that are good, but a little bit, you know, it seems a shame to toss out 50 pages of code that does work and start over. But I don't know.
Well, it depends upon how involved your strategy is.
Basically what I want to do is follow a little line, and when I hit a certain point, take an action. So it's not, I don't see it as being that. The concept is actually quite simple. It's the code is a little more difficult, definitely. That's why
may I
right
ask,
now.
is based on technical indicators, or
It's
the strategy are based on technical indicators, or technical indicators and so on, you really don't need someone with very strong quant background, right? If it doesn't involve some fancy math algorithms, if you think it's simple, then probably you're better off if you look for a good programmer.
Yeah.
But someone with computer science background, not with MBA. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, and there, you know, in MetaTrader, there's a lot of newbies and wannabes and stuff. So, you know, you guys are a little higher level. I'm kind of the bottom of your guys' level. I'm not. I mean, I can only look into your level. I can't carry myself very well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a tough one, but I think for you and your situation, you're better off to try to learn programming on your own. I already mentioned
I have, but I'm self-taught. I'm not.
Yeah. Well,
it's the arrays that start to get to my point of overwhelm so far.
I've mentioned this book earlier, the Head First series.
O'Reilly books.
Yeah, these are quite good for newbies, especially in C#. It's a powerful language.
Well, and I think C# is very close to MetaTrader. Maybe not perfect, but you know, if you work in one, you can carry the other one. Yeah,
I would think so, especially with the MetaTrader 5. It's so close to C++, right?
Well, I can't use 5 because I do hedging, and MetaTrader 5 doesn't allow hedging. I don't know why they went that way. So I just don't even look at 5 personally. But, you know, it depends on the system you're using. I'm sure 5 has better deals for something.
Yeah, and are a lot more brokers supporting it now as well?
I think there's a few out there. And another thing that I came across recently is MetaTrader is kind of a slow program. The server is slow.
Yeah.
And it has trouble with bridging to the market itself. And so a lot of brokers have trouble when they're setting up their MetaTrader, when they're connecting to the market. The market's moving fast, their server's moving slow, and then how do you deal with the prices? And sometimes that crashes. So there's a group, I think out of London, that took the MetaTrader server and they've recoded it in fixed protocol, I believe.
Yeah.
And then so you can use a regular client, a regular MetaTrader client, but you're not going through the MetaTrader server. You're going through their simulated server.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting idea, and they get faster throughput and so on and so forth.
Oh, I don't know. It sounds like it's like a quagmire, this MetaTrader.
It is.
From what you're saying.
I think I wouldn't tell anybody in your group to step down to MetaTrader because it would be a step down.
Yeah.
I think Fix protocol is probably where you guys would want to go.
Eventually, but Fix is a very complicated protocol.
And there's different protocols and slightly different variations in it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've already talked about that in past videos and stuff. Who's got other questions? Anybody? We're down to 5 people. Michael dropped off. Ian dropped off. They were asking earlier questions. We got Ka and Zeo still. No questions from them. Anything further, Stephen, at all, or?
Kind of got here late, so sorry to.
No worries, man. I mean, we can try to address what you might have. Yeah, it sounds like. Go ahead.
Well, at this point, it's taken me maybe the last 8 years to get the code to where it's at.
Right.
And so my goal right now is to go to manual trade. I'm setting up a team of traders so we can trade it manually and then hopefully make profit. Because when I manually trade it, I can it rocks pretty well what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But the automation, the total robot on its own, I wouldn't trade live money with it. So I'm going kind of a half step to semi-automated trading.
Okay, but if you looked at that system or the robot, I mean, percent-wise, how much would you say is complete?
90, 95. But that last 5% has been like the last 3-4 years.
Really?
It's just, well, when you get close and then the programmer stops and then you start again and then you got to educate the programmer, this is what we're trying to do and this is how we do it. Oh, yeah, I understand. And then they go off in some weird tangent.
Yeah.
What I did this last time that was better, though, is we did pair programming.
Okay.
Where I have GoToMeeting like you do, and we'd sit on the screen, and I've caught him from going off in the weeds a couple times. Wow. So that's maybe one thing that helps. Another tool I'd recommend that would work with you guys is XMind, a mind mapping tool.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of it.
If you want to put all your ideas, it's good for a mind dump.
Okay.
You want to talk about something, you can put on all these details, and then you can rearrange it, and it's a free program. So I use that to put all the sub ideas and concepts, and put this trailing stop here, and be careful of this, or whatever my details are, and that way I can get like a mind dump.
Okay.
Of what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
So, and another tool that I could recommend, let me see if I can find it, is Kanban Flow.
How do you spell that?
KANBANFLOW.com.
And then it says .com?
.com, yes, COM.
KABAN.
KAN.
Oh.
I can drop it into your.
Okay, thanks.
Hang on a second. There we go.
I mean, the visual, I don't know, but with MATLAB, there's a lot you could do with it. The visual's quite good with, let me just pull up my model here for Simulink.
The visuals you put on the chart are the visuals that you can
I just
look at the data.
I'm going to show you that in a minute. Because my Simulink has a crazy fed as usual. Talking about recommendations, don't use your Acer. Hang on here. Jeez. What's going on here? My Simulink's just dying.
It's a simulated crash. It's not a real crash.
Oh no, something's not working. I think it's not enough memory.
Could be. I have that trouble too. As I get older, I've used up.
There we go. Yeah, it was his memory. Okay. So, hang on here.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up a model canvas, this guy right here. So I have no idea what these blocks mean, to be honest.
Look up tables, math operations.
I don't know. Let's say I want to do a cosine, model info, whatever that might mean. No. 2D lookup of a table.
Just don't click on Black Swan.
but here's the thing: is that with this type of
I think the beauty of this tool is actually imagine that in terms of strategy, when you build a strategy, any strategy is made up of blocks, right? So the beauty of Simulink is actually you can actually put the blocks and have sort of a design of your strategy.
Yeah.
And you go faster.
Oh yeah.
It also gives you a picture of what you want to do. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not coding only. Obviously, imagine that behind each box that you put there, you have to write some code.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it's a nice tool to actually give you an overall image picture of the flow of your strategy. This Simulink tool is developed by Matlab more for engineering problems, right? Hydraulics. NASA has used this to design their space shuttle and so on, right?
Wow.
So yeah, so it's really not that much into the finance. It really just in the last couple of years, people started to be interested in using this tool in finance. Yeah, but again, the programming part of it is you put the boxes there, you connect, you build your strategy from input data to P&L and the Sharpe ratio at the end. So it gives you a linked, a box linked type of strategy. Obviously, behind each box, you have to write some code.
Not only that, but I'll be demoing this next week, but you can now then take this, whatever model it is visually, and you can generate code from it. So let's say if you want to generate C code, where is it? Where's my
HCL
code
generator?
Go ahead.
I think the best way, I was just suggesting that maybe the best way for him to understand, if you can give him the link with the Simulink at Stateflow. You remember that we discussed that time ago? I think if you can go and watch that link, because it's a simple example of, I think it's a moving average, if I recall correctly.
Can I ask what state means in this case, or state flow?
State flow is really, in the system design engineering, the state is really a state of the system at a given point, right? So the state flow really gives you the sequence of your order boxes. This is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, your condition, your situation, and then as it changes, then that's the flow.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. You can put condition on that. So imagine that now, if you have, you trade, I don't know, Forex. You trade Forex, right? And you have your signal to buy or sell, right? If it's above or below the threshold value, whatever it is. Is above Bollinger Bands, yes or no, right? So with this state flow, you can actually draw the diagram of that and put a condition in the box. So it has some benefits.
Yeah, it sounds like it would make it go faster, especially if you can master it. Rather, at first you got to go up a learning curve, but.
Oh yeah.
But you say the problem is the learning curve can be very steep.
Yeah.
I have to say, right? So.
Yeah, and I used to be able to learn very well, and as I get older, gosh, this stuff, sometimes I just don't have the mental horsepower to get over the...
I know. Welcome to the cloud.
Well,
I have to say that, I went back to school about 3 years ago just for fun, right? And it's so amazing, right? I remember myself when I was 20 or so, how fast I was learning things,
like
right?
a sponge. It was no problem.
Exactly. Now
No effort.
I was struggling to memorize. I said, oh my God, what did I do to myself? But it's age. Okay.
Well, it's the alternative, though.
but
I'll try to find that link for you. It was, I think, in...
yeah, if you could put that in the chat. But for you, Stephen,
let me...
the thing is, it sounds like you're going through so many coders. I don't know what how much, let's say how much you spent. I don't want to raise guilt here. But if you were to spend...
10,000.
Okay. But if you were to spend that kind of money on something like a Simulink or a Matlab and try to learn this yourself, you may find in the long run you might be saving yourself a lot more money. Just as a thought, right?
Well, what I have now is good enough for semi-automated trading, I believe. We're going to get the group together, and I got a whole plan for that. And I think that the code is okay. My worry is more the team. If we have a good team, if we can turn the group into a team, then I think we got it made.
Yeah.
But I've had groups before, and you have one bad person in there, and it destroys one person can destroy everybody's efforts.
Yeah, I know.
Our one bad attitude, but so.
Well, that's where you gotta maybe bounce them pretty fast if it comes too toxic.
Well, what happened in the past is one guy, he wanted to use the profits to go and get a hitman or some guy to beat up this guy, and I said, oh, yeah, you can't, that's not what I'm for. And so then his friend was in there, and then he started, after that guy was gone, the other guy started being it, and he's gone, and a third guy. It's like I don't know, it's almost like we need quant for humans.
Yeah.
We can understand charts, but these humans are just so difficult.
It's the hardest job in the world to deal with people. Working with people is the hardest job.
Yeah, that's right.
Brian, can you do MQL5 Simulink study?
MQL5? And you said Simulink?
I think he should take you there.
Yeah, I think I've already shown him this.
Yeah, I got some stuff I'll be looking at.
Referring this one, I just shown him?
I'm not sure if you showed that. I haven't seen that. Have you showed him this? Have you seen that?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I'll put it in there anyways, just for his
Yeah, I appreciate that.
But at least with Simulink, you have a way to bridge the visual through Simulink and then build an indicator for
Can you go? Oh, Brian, hold your horses. Can you go up a bit? Can you go up with the state flow?
Right here,
Just one more, a bit more, one more. One more.
Right here. Okay, go ahead. Dan.
No, but I need you to bring the diagram. Oh, this one. Stop.
Yeah.
So you see, this is really how a Simulink it will look, right? So you see, you have between state A, state 1C, 1B, you have a condition, right? And that's your trading condition. Sort of this sort of a block diagram that you can build with this.
Some of it I understand, but like they got history junction. Not sure.
Oh, this is just part of state flow. It's just terminology.
This is really terminology. It's sort of a dictionary, what each box means and how you can connect, right? So you have a condition, and this is the state flow. This is the state flow. You have, if you like, there is a video above this that shows you how to build strategy with Simulink.
So you could have a state inside the Bollinger Bands, outside the Bollinger Bands,
right?
2x out the Bollinger Bands,
Absolutely.
Or all other indicators or whatever.
Yeah,
personally, I'm not sure if you have 95 of the percent of the code already written and so on. I'm not sure if it's worth it for you to switch to this. I have to tell you.
Well, long term, my goal is not to stay at MetaTrader, but
okay.
But I am, as you point out, pretty invested in MetaTrader, spending years and dollars. I looked at AmiBroker, and that didn't work as well as I wanted. So MetaTrader had a bigger following that seemed to help, actually. A lot more ideas floating around.
Yeah. I'm not sure what else I can suggest for you. I mean, if I were, I don't know. I hear you what you're saying about being invested in it.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes you got to cut your losses.
Yeah.
Know when to fold them. At 95%, it's like, it's harder to let it go.
Yeah. No, I've been in similar situations like that before. I mean, for me, I'm not even sure if TradeLink is the right platform, but the good thing about it is I have $0 invested into it because it's open source. If I went with a platform called Deltix, it's $100,000. I mean, that's a risk if it doesn't work out.
Hopefully you got good tech support for that kind of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
2 hours, yeah.
No, I mean, just as an example, but I just, from my perspective, when it comes to development and strategy development, I would go with definitely for prototyping any strategies done in the world of MATLAB, and trading and execution. I definitely, right now, at this point, start with TradeLink.
Have you, in all your playing around, found stuff that's consistently profitable?
Dan?
Yeah, we actually look at some strategies, right? We obviously have to do some more back testing on that.
But they show promise.
Yeah, they show promise. I have to say we are more oriented on the statistical arbitrage, pairs trading, and so on.
Arbitrage, did you say?
Statistical arbitrage, pairs trading.
Statistical arbitrage.
Yeah, pair trading.
On the same pair, or are you doing like a currency ring and arbing around the ring?
We haven't looked at that into the forex. It's just to give you a high-level description of what's called the pair trading or mean reverting trading strategies.
So
imagine that you have two stocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stock A and B, and there is the concept of co-integration between these two stocks, which is different than correlation. Don't confuse co-integration with correlation. By co-integration, I mean if you look at the spread between the two stocks, in a long run, the spread will revert to zero. Okay, so
kind of like gold and silver with the ratio that they have. You'll tend to hold that ratio.
Absolutely, right? So
okay.
Imagine that you have an ETF on gold and an ETF on silver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever, some security. So you take advantage of that economical principle, right? That in long run.
It may veer out, but it'll come back.
Yes, it reverts back to zero.
So when you catch it away from where it should be, then you can write it back to where you know it's going to go sooner or later.
Yes, I know that we know that we revert to zero, right? So we know when to get in and when to get out.
In trading that I've done, I do something similar with a grid system, where you have buy limits and sell limits, and when you come back to the middle, that's where you profit.
That's where you profit. In our case, it's different. We have let's call them threshold value, whatever you have to call them. And if we are above these values, then we should take the profit. If we start to get inside in the middle part of a spread.
Does this diagram help, Dan? I've got gold and silver here.
But see how they're parallel-ish?
Yeah, they're parallelish, but parallelish doesn't necessarily mean they're co-integrated. They mean correlated. Co-integrated. So imagine that you take now red minus blue. That's just an example, right?
If they switch with each other?
And cross.
Yeah.
If they cross,
so
then
the difference between the two stocks, right, will revert to zero. This is the principle behind the pair trading strategy. You can learn a bit more. Just Google pair strategies or mean reverting strategy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of. I can't remember how it works. It said mean reverting, right?
Yeah, just mean pair strategy or mean reverting.
Well, pair trading is the most common.
Yeah, pair trading doesn't matter.
There's a ton, even in MetaTrader.
Yes, but you remember that we look at that and we concluded that it's actually quite low level. Yeah, you see they have Forex as well.
Yeah, like examples.
Yeah, this Molanis that we're on, this is a automatic, it's a system to graphically create programs.
Okay.
I believe. So it's one of the ones that are out there. There's 8 or so, I believe, but Molanis is one of them.
Okay.
Where you can do kind of like what you were showing. You can have little boxes and then they hook with lines, and if you want to change your code around, you can just drag and drop and reconnect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Brian, why don't you try to go to Quant World? Because I remember that there is some source code there.
Quant code?
Quant code, right? Is there some source?
Yeah. Okay. The co-integration. Yeah.
Yeah, the co-integration.
Okay.
So just to be fair here, there is a lot of math behind this, right? So it's quite a lot of analytics. If you can go down, I just want to show him some, because if I remember there was a screenshot of the
yeah, you're talking about the pair finder?
Yeah, the pair finder, whatever it is.
Okay,
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think we looked at this before. Huh?
Yeah. Well, this is in C#.
Just to give you an intuition behind that, right? Maybe we have it. I don't remember.
It's right here.
Yeah, I see this, but I was hoping to see some graphs, right, to exemplify that, but there is
no. But in essence, what you have is you have all your S&P 500, let's say, and you can cross-reference each symbol, and then it'll come back with a p-value, which is your probability. And the higher it is, obviously, the higher probability that that pair.
Probability a similar movement.
Yeah.
Probably if one goes up, the other will go up, and one goes down.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's just one example.
But sometimes that's going to invert, because you take like Intel and AMD, and they're going along equal, and then Intel comes out with some big deal, and then AMD loses share. So then they.
Okay. So the basic idea is when you build a spread is to have a long position in Intel and a short position in other. I'm not sure if I was clear on that.
Here, I can. I'm just trying to look for an example. So what was the one symbol you wanted to use, like MSFT, Amazon or Google?
Just IBM and Microsoft will do it.
Okay, yeah, here. Where does that compare? So we'll do 1 minute. Okay, so this would be Dow Jones. Would that work?
It's pretty.
No, will not work.
So you want?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's good. Can you plot on that? What did you plot there? You plot.
Well, I'll do Apple and Google.
Oh, put IBM there.
How about these four?
Yeah, yeah. So for example, when I look at this, I'll say that what's the orange one?
Orange one is Dow Jones.
Dow Jones.
I'll get rid of
probably the blue. Yeah, probably the blue and green. The blue and green. What's the blue?
The blue is Microsoft. Apple is the green.
Yeah, Microsoft and Apple. It should be co-integrated somehow.
I can see a crossover back February 11th area.
They're right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it crosses back.
For example, imagine on March the 4th, let's say, as I look at this graph, if I was long on what's the blue one on Microsoft, and I was short on Apple when it dropped, because this is the pair trading idea. You long one and you short the other. Yes.
Almost like options.
So
almost like some of the option structures that they built.
Yeah.
Condor spreads, and I don't know. They got a whole bunch, but but it's kind of a similar idea. You know that they're not. There's another thing in Forex, the currency rings. Do you guys know that?
No.
Currency rings?
Yeah, you have like the Euro USD, and then you have like the USD yen and the yen euro. And if you buy them so that you're buying on one and selling on the other, and so they all kind of come together, yeah, just see it online. It'll probably give us a nice picture. It'll make it.
Which one's good here out of this? Forex Factory. Oh, these are just forums.
Oh, I see what you mean. I read now. Yeah, that's similar, but the currency rig is made of 3 pairs, right?
3, or could be more. Some will have 20, but they're balanced in the end. However they do it.
Oh. Okay, so the amount, how much you weight each position, right, is based on what do I read here?
Still there?
So they use average daily range to actually indicate how much a pair has moved. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's similar. Yeah, I see some similarities. Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, and I know somebody that's doing this, and I kind of talking to them. I think what they're doing is running the currency ring off on the side, and it's kind of like a rubber band. When it gets pulled back, it's going to revert to the mean, kind of like what you were saying. So when it pulls back, you buy, sell, and when it gets to the other side, you sell, buy. Depending on, if you got 3 things, you're not going to buy all 3 or sell all 3. There's going to be buy, sell, or something like that, so that.
Oh, I see.
So that you're buying the euro on one and selling the euro on the other. It's balanced, but there's a little bit of correlation that's not uncorrelated amount, a small amount that's uncorrelated.
Absolutely.
You make it safe by the correlation because they're not going to go too far away from each other, and then
you have an idea.
Yeah.
I see. Interesting. Yeah.
Is there? I mean, it's hitting up 8:30. Is there anything else you'd like to ask, Stephen?
Oh, if I'm keeping you guys.
All right, it's all right.
I just live and breathe this stuff.
Yeah, I know.
We're kind of off on the edge of my skill set. I mean, you guys are all more capable than I am in the coding world and stuff.
Well,
but
we hope so.
I have ideas, concepts, and stuff.
Yeah. Dan, is there anything you want to say?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I don't know. Ka's been pretty quiet. He's our last guy out there. Anything else you want to say, Ka? Ka? Not sure. I don't know, guys. What do you want to do? You want to keep going, or you want to just give it a wrap, or what do you want to do?
I'm good for a little while, but if you guys want to break, I'm good either way.
Because we're recording it right now. We're gonna put this up on YouTube, no problem. I'll tell you what, Steve. You got my email?
Probably.
Well, let me just put it in there just in case.
I know I can find you on Meetup.
You couldn't?
I know I could. I know.
Okay, yeah. That's my email. Just email me some questions, whatever you got, and we'll try to answer them for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Because I don't know if nobody else got any questions, we'll just give it a wrap. All right. But just send out an email to me, and we'll try to help you out.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and in other news, I have some connections. If you guys get a winning system, I can get you an intro to funds.
Okay.
You know, I can't guarantee how it'll go, but
right.
But
the funny
let's prove. First step, let's prove to ourselves that it's working.
Yeah.
And we have we love to chat more about your ideas. We have some ideas as well. Tips, so maybe in future we can.
Yeah, this is the information age, so it's information that's power.
Nothing is better than that.
We've looked at a few other custom strategies, and considering what we've already got on the plate, quite a few didn't quite make it. We just kind of, you know, like we look at stuff based upon math, really. We had some strategies that were news-driven, or unless you're on the inside, those strategies didn't really have any real advantage.
And then there's people that are searching social media, Facebook, Twitter, and all that kind of stuff.
The sentiment.
When they see, and they're trying to chew that all up and kind of data mine it for trade direction.
Sure, but you know,
good luck.
out of anybody I know, out of dozens of people, Dan's philosophy on quant and his belief on it. Dan, you want to tell Stephen what you think of quant and why quant works and something like technical trading doesn't work?
Yeah, but really, this is the personal level. I don't believe in strategies that are based on historical performance, right? History never repeats itself, and I have a problem with using strategies based on technical indicators. It's
yeah, I can generally agree.
Right, so this is why personally I'm oriented more on the statistical arbitrage strategies, but it has to make somehow economical sense. It has to have some you know,
real
some
world
support,
force.
real from that perspective. It has to have some intuition and some logic behind. This is what we want. I don't believe in technical indicators. That's my point. So.
Well, they usually lag, and you know, there are some that you can squeeze some information out of. Yeah, I mean, even a moving average.
I believe they work to make it. I think so many people are using it that they actually force the market somehow. Right? The market is always right and it corrects itself at the end of the day, no matter what. Right? But if so many people are using the same, now history cannot tell us what is going to happen tomorrow. No chance.
Exactly.
Yeah, and in my trading methodology, I'm not trying to predict the market. I'm just I'm preparing if the price goes up or if the price goes down, and that's kind of that way I'm.
Yeah, when I read that ring strategy that I just read about in Forex, I believe it has some potential in that, right?
Oh yeah.
Seriously. It makes sense to me, whatever happens there, right? You have a number of stocks that you put them together, right? And you balance them out, right? And it makes sense.
Yeah, if one's traded in dollars and another's in yen, you gotta adjust for the relative size, but you know that's not too hard.
That's not too hard. I agree.
Yeah.
See, if you look at this Aussie yen, Aussie dollar yen, you would buy the Aussie and sell the U.S. yen because they both have the yen in it.
Yes.
So on what, if they're both on, like the Aussies both on the same, one would be a buy and one would be a sell. And
I hear you.
just
Now it makes
so,
sense to me that
so they're neutralized.
they're neutralized by the yen, you're saying, right? It makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you balance the yen, you balance the Aussie, and you balance the dollar.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense to me.
And then you change the lot sizes just to account for the difference in yen-based or dollar-based. So, pretty simple. And like I was saying before, the correlated part keeps it safe. You know, if you could just let time work for you, sooner or later it'll come into profit, and then you can chop it out and then flip it upside down and do it the other way.
Yeah, I hear you. Simple is the best. Always work. Keep it simple.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hear you there.
All right. I guess we'll just leave it at that then for tonight, man.
Okay. Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys' input.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Because what I'll do is, you got my email. Just email me and we'll get back to you with whatever you need.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Yeah, I like your enthusiasm and stuff.
No problem. So what I'm going to do, I'll just tear down the webinar and I'll post this later tonight or tomorrow. So keep your eyes and ears for that. But other than that, thanks for coming out, Steven and Kat. And especially Dan for helping me out on this.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I'll talk to you guys maybe next Wednesday on the next webinar.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
Keep up the good work.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks. Have a good night, man. All right. See you.
Good luck, Steve.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Thanks for everything.
No problem.